You've met him before, in a dream. He didn't speak. He didn't need to. He just stood there watching you with quiet knowing, as if he had waited lifetimes for you to notice. A wise old man, a cloaked traveler, a glowing figure at the end of a long corridor. You don't remember his name, because he never told you, but his presence felt more real than anything you've ever known. Carl Jung believed this figure is not imagination. It is something far deeper, the self. The true center of your being, a living symbol of your highest potential. These dreams are rare, and even rarer is the person who understands them. Jung said that when this dream comes, it marks a turning point. Not in the outer world, but in the soul. From confusion to clarity, from noise to silence, from fragments to wholeness. Why does he come to us in dreams? Why do these moments feel like more than sleep? And why did Jung insist that meeting this inner guide can split your life in two, before and after? Carl Gustav Jung was far more than Freud's student. He became the thinker who reshaped how we understand the human mind. Where Freud saw dreams as expressions of hidden desires, Jung saw something deeper, a symbolic language through which the soul speaks. He introduced concepts that changed psychology forever: the archetype, the collective unconscious, and the idea that symbols carry meaning beyond culture or time. For Jung, dreams were not random noise or biological byproducts. They were structured, purposeful, and often transformative. In his view, the unconscious wasn't just a storage bin for repressed thoughts. It was a living intelligence guiding the individual toward wholeness, if only we'd learn how to listen. One of Jung's most profound insights was his discovery of certain dreams that didn't behave like others. They were rare, vivid, emotionally charged, and often arrived in times of deep crisis or change. In these dreams, people often encountered a specific figure: an old man, a wise stranger, a glowing presence, a guide cloaked in light. Jung called this figure an expression of the self, the deepest part of the psyche. The self, unlike the ego, isn't concerned with appearances, achievements, or daily goals. It is the totality of who we are, the conscious and the unconscious, the known and the unknown, the wounded and the whole. When the self appears in a dream, it doesn't do so casually. Jung believed it signals a major inner turning point, a moment when the unconscious is ready to initiate real transformation. He called such dreams primordial moments of truth. They often follow long periods of inner conflict, loss, or deep questioning. These dreams don't deliver easy answers. Instead, they offer something more powerful: orientation, a glimpse of meaning, a feeling of direction. The presence of the self in a dream doesn't tell you what to do. It shows you who you could become. This is why Jung considered these moments sacred. He didn't believe in dismissing them or reducing them to cliches. He treated them with reverence, as signals that the soul is awakening to itself. And once that process begins, it cannot be undone. The dream becomes a message, and the dreamer begins to change. Dreams that carry the presence of the self are not easily forgotten. They arrive with a weight, a quiet intensity that lingers long after waking. Carl Jung observed that these dreams often don't involve complicated storylines. Instead, they are marked by a single powerful encounter, often with a figure who radiates wisdom, calm, and deep seriousness. This figure may be an old man with kind but penetrating eyes, a glowing stranger standing at a threshold, or a cloaked guide on a distant path. They rarely speak much and sometimes say nothing at all, but their presence is unmistakable. You don't just see them, you feel them, as if something ancient has stepped into your dream to remind you of something you forgot you knew. Jung described many such dreams in his work. In one, a person meets a monk in a cave, silent but radiating peace. In another, a man is guided by an elder up a mountain path where a temple waits at the summit. Sometimes the figure gives the dreamer a symbolic object, a key, a book, a stone. Sometimes a single sentence is spoken, and that sentence haunts the dreamer for years. These dreams often occur during times of transition, when the old way of life no longer fits, but the new path has not yet appeared. Jung believed that in these moments, the ego loses its grip, and the self steps forward to offer orientation. Not commands, not instruction, but a glimpse of what lies deeper within. One key feature of these dreams is the feeling they produce. The dreamer often wakes up with a sense of reverence, awe, or even sacredness. There is a feeling that something important happened, something real, even if it cannot be explained. Jung emphasized that it's not the visual details that matter most, but the psychological impact. The dream may be simple, a conversation, a walk, a look, but the emotion is profound. You feel seen, known, as if a deeper part of yourself just reminded you of who you really are. This is what Jung meant when he said the self is not a goal to achieve, but a presence to encounter. And when it appears in a dream, it marks the beginning of something that can change your life from the inside out. Carl Jung believed that the self, the deepest, most complete version of who we are, appears in dreams only when we're ready. Not when we think we're ready, but when something within us has quietly reached a turning point. Often these dreams come during moments of personal crisis, grief, or depression, when the life we've built starts to feel too small for the soul we've become, or they appear during long periods of inner questioning, when something in us begins to ask, is this really all there is? These are not ordinary life challenges. They are signals that the ego, our everyday sense of self, can no longer carry the full weight of who we truly are. That's when the self emerges, not to rescue us, but to reveal the next step. In Jung's view, the teacher figure in such dreams is not a god, angel, or mystical other. It is you, yourself, from a higher state of being. It is the version of you that has already integrated the lessons you're struggling to learn. The self doesn't come with answers or commandments. It comes with presence, direction, a subtle nudge toward what must be remembered, reclaimed, or released. These dreams are not there to tell you what to do next week. They're there to initiate something deeper, a shift in identity. They invite you to stop living from the surface and begin living from the center. But understanding the message of the self doesn't mean acting on it immediately. Jung warned against rushing back into the distractions of daily life or trying to interpret the dream intellectually. These dreams are not puzzles to be solved. They are energies to be lived. After such a dream, Jung suggested creating space for inner realignment. Pay attention to the emotions the dream stirred. Stay with the image. Let it echo. Transformation doesn't happen with the mind alone. It begins in the soul and slowly changes everything else. That's why Jung called these dreams sacred. They open a door, and if we walk through it, our lives don't just change. They begin to unfold in a new direction. Quietly, naturally, from the inside out. If you've had a dream like this, a dream where a guide appeared, or something ancient stirred inside you, don't rush to analyze it. Don't reduce it to a checklist or a metaphor. Carl Jung warned that these dreams are not meant to be dissected with the cold tools of logic. They are meant to be felt, lived, carried. He encouraged people to return to these dreams often, to revisit them like sacred ground. Write it down. Let yourself remember how it felt. Who was there? What was said or not said? What was given or shown? What you felt as you woke. The dream is not an answer. It's a turning point, a beginning. It's like a message in a bottle from the deepest part of your being, sent from one moment of readiness to another. When a dream brings you face to face with the self, it's not simply asking for attention. It's initiating you into a new relationship with yourself. One where you're no longer just reacting to life, but starting to align with something older and wiser within you. Sometimes, that single dream is enough to shift everything. You begin to question what you once assumed. You start to feel drawn to new directions, new kinds of truth. That dream doesn't tell you where to go, but it reminds you that you have always known the way. Jung believed these dreams arrive only when you are ready. Not ready in the way the world defines it, not prepared, not perfect, not confident, but ready in the soul. Ready to wake up to who you truly are. That's why these dreams should never be ignored or dismissed. They are rare and they are real. If one has come to you, take it as a sign, not that something is wrong, but that something within you is awakening. These are not dreams that fade. They stay. They live in you. They wait for you to catch up. And when you do, everything begins to shift, not with noise, but with depth. Quietly, the path begins to open. And for the first time, you don't just move forward, you move inward, toward yourself. Dear friends, if you like this video, please like it and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you soon.